Let's do some basic sales training here. How to get someone to say yes is not a mystery, okay? I'm going to assume that we're talking about sales or marketing or closing some kind of deal or agreement or something to that effect. Now, I'm not a marriage counselor, so if you're wanting to know how to get her or him to say yes to that question, that's a whole different video. But for this video, let's talk about how to get a yes whenever you're marketing or whenever you're in sales. It begins with getting a series of small agreements, okay? And you want to do that by doing something that we call closed-ended questions, okay? A closed-ended question is one that is a yes or a no answer, and it's one that you already know the answer to. So let's say that you're sitting down and you're having a discussion with somebody, and you're trying to sell something, right? And let's say you're trying to sell this widget, and this widget will give somebody a better quality of life for whatever reason. Maybe it's health and wellness, maybe it's weight loss. Let's just say it's weight loss, for example, and you're selling a supplement for weight loss. You might say to someone, well, everyone would want to lose weight, right? And of course they're going to say yes, okay? Or you would say something like, well, if you could lose 20 pounds in 45 days, you'd want to do that, wouldn't you? And they're going to say yes. So they're closed-ended questions because you're looking for a yes or no answer, but you should already know the answer to the question, right? What you're trying to do is get a series of small agreements. In addition, you want to ask questions with the assumptive close, right? So when you say things like, you wouldn't want to say something like, well, would you want to lose 20 pounds? You would say, you would want to lose 20 pounds if you could, wouldn't you? Right? And by phrasing it that way now, psychologically, they really have no choice but to say, well, of course, right? But the idea is that you want to get a series of small agreements throughout the course of your conversation before you come to the money question or the closing question. The closing question in this case would be, would you want to buy? So you might say, well, everyone likes to lose weight, don't they? And they would say yes. And then somewhere along a little bit further along, you'd say, well, if you could lose 20 pounds in 45 days, you'd want to do that, wouldn't you? And they would say yes. And then you might say, I bet your spouse would love it if you lost some weight and got back into those trousers you wore in college. And they would say, well, yeah, And you get a series of these yes answers. And then when you get to the end, you'd say, now, if my product could help you to lose that 20 pounds that we've been talking about, you'd want to do that, wouldn't you? And they'd say yes. And you'd say, great. And you'd pull your paperwork out and hand it to them, or you'd get them online to close the sale, or whatever the case might be. This is how you get a yes in sales, okay? The statistics have shown over and over and over again that if you get a series of small agreements along the way throughout a conversation, you're much, much, much more likely to get the yes when the money question comes up, okay? You also may have to ask the money question more than once. So if they say, well, I'm just not sure because there's a lot of other products on the market. Okay, no problem. So you keep talking. Really? Like, what products are those? Well, I saw this product and that product. And you just start having the conversation again, and you go back to trying to get small agreements until you come back around to the buying question again, and then you ask it again. Just as a rule of thumb, I try to get 6 minor agreements before I ask the buying question, and I will ask the buying question as many times as it takes to get a yes, or until the person makes it very obvious that they're done having the conversation. And you'll know that, right? You'll be able to feel that. They won't have to be ugly or nasty about it. They may just say, well, you know what? I'm going to think about this. I'm not ready to make a decision tonight. You're just going to have to call me tomorrow or whatever. Okay, no problem. That's a very clear indication that the conversation's over. But, as long as the conversation hasn't ended, I'm going to continue to discuss and ask small questions, get small agreements until the buying question comes up. This is just one of the skills that I've learned along the way to building organizations, creating sales teams. If you'd like to find out what I'm doing now, maybe if you'd even like to work with me in my latest project, you can click the link below the video. It'll take you to workingwithbrian.com, and I'll give you the blueprint for exactly what we're doing, what we've been doing since 2013. It's been unbelievably remarkable. Along with working with me, you're going to get full access to all of my trainings. You're going to get full access to basically everything that I have to offer in terms of a support system and everything else. It's a great education. It's a way to earn while you learn. And if you've been looking for something to do, maybe outside of your job, and I highly encourage you to click the link and check it out. But that's how you're going to get a yes.